Welcome back to the shop. So, for another segment of my Swedish Mauser sporterization, I want to talk about triggers. So, most of your military rifles come with a two-stage trigger. Now, a two-stage trigger simply means that you've got this space or travel between where the trigger is and where it's ready to actually engage. So I'll show you. That's how that works. So when you you have this, so you can, I guess, so you can get ready for the trigger action. Not all military rifles have it, but most of the Mausers, or all of the Mausers I've ever had, have it. So I'm not sure what the real difference is, but I know that it's a kind of a personal preference, and I assume that it has a lot to do with what you're used to, or maybe even what you were trained on. So if your first exposure to rifles were, when you went in the military as an adult and started right off shooting with a two-stage trigger, then that's probably what you would want. I prefer a single-stage trigger on my hunting rifles. So I'm going to put a Timney trigger on this Swedish Mauser, which I've done on all of the Mausers. So this is the trigger that I decided on. It's just a standard Timney single stage trigger. The reason that I chose this one is it does not have the safety, because if you watch the other video, I put a Timney safety on here, and I wanted to keep that safety because it locks the bolt when it's fully engaged, and I kind of like that. So I'll show you. Putting this on is a pretty simple process. I say simple, but there is a few steps, and the instructions that come with it are adequate. So I will show some of the steps. I didn't video the whole thing because you'll figure it out if you decide to do one. So to put this on is pretty straightforward and pretty simple. Again, just follow the directions. You're going to remove this pin. And as you can see, the safety just comes off, or the trigger just comes off. And then you just do the reverse to put this on. Put the pin back in. And then tighten that Allen wrench. It comes with the proper Allen wrench there, but we'll just tighten it up. And that's it. That's the trigger. The hardest part is actually routing out the stock. I routed it with a Dremel tool, but it doesn't really matter what you use to route it. You use chisels, files, whatever you happen to have to make room for the extra pieces. You can see that this section here is routed out, and I also had to file back my floor plate, my trigger guard. I'm not sure why, but it didn't. I just filed it back. Not a problem. And to just show the difference between single and double stage trigger, notice that on the double stage we had to pull this a little, but right here it's already engaged, and just as soon as the trigger moves, it fires. Again, personal preference, I guess. Whatever you like, whatever you're used to. Timney also makes a two-stage if you want to put an aftermarket that just makes it a little bit more adjustable. You can get you can set the trigger weight, things like that, which is much harder to do safely with a military trigger. So whatever you like. Again, I like the single stage, and that's why I went ahead and put it on. And again, we'll try to get this project finished up here. We're starting to get toward the end. Now the final results. Let's see if we can test it. Nice 3-pound pole, which is what it came with, I believe. I don't have a way to test the weight, but it just works nice and smooth. And again, for me, a lot nicer than that two-stage.